So I'll just go here and search Visual Studio Code down. We have window. If you have any other type of system, you can just choose accordingly. I have window here, so I'll just click on down. Now download will start here. Accept, click next. So if you want, just add it in desktop icon, right? And then we will simply click on open, install. Now I will just click on launch Visual Studio Code. So once you open first time, you will see a screen like this. We have here Project Explorer. If you click on it, it will show here all the projects. So suppose if you have not created, you can create project from here also. Just click on create project, and it will ask you what kind of project you want to create, right? But usually we don't use this thing. What we have to do is we will create here one folder. So I'll just go and create here one folder. I'll say HTML, right? Or I'll just say project. Inside project, I will have here my HTML code. So I'll just create here HTML folder. So inside project, I have created HTML folder. Now what we need to do, we need to open this folder here. Simply click on it, go to desktop, and then I'll say UI project HTML. Open it. Now whatever thing is available inside HTML folder will come here. Right now you can see we don't have anything. And going forward, so suppose I have closed it, right? This Visual Studio completely I have closed. How you will open that Visual Studio directly? So you can just go to your folder, click on this path, and just start typing here CMD. CMD. Click enter. Now your folder will be open in command prompt, and here you have to write code space dot. This is shortcut to open your project directly. Code space dot, click enter. Click enter. And then you will see that this particular folder will directly open here. Yes. So this is the shortcut that you have to do. And now if you will see inside, we are inside this HTML folder. Here we have one to create new file, create folder, and these things. So I will just click on new file, and here I will write file name. So I'll say basic.html. Any name you can write. I'm just writing basic.html and click enter. So now this file is created. If you will go here, you can see we have one file is created here. Inside HTML, basic file is created. And then you can write your code here. So I'll say HTML. So you can just start typing code here. HTML. So it will, this particular Visual Studio will help you to automatically close this. You have to just write one tag, it will automatically close the another one. Inside HTML, we have, let's say, head. So in HTML, whenever you learn HTML, you need to learn a lot of tags. This is called tags, HTML tags. And then inside HTML tags head, we have title. And then I'll just write first web page. And then after head, I'll just write here body. And inside body, I will say, let's say H1. Welcome to HTML. And then just I need to save this file. I have here one file basic, and then to run this file, what I'll do, I'll just double click on. Since this is HTML file, you can see it is showing welcome to HTML. So you need to write code here. If you want, you can directly run from here, open with live server, which is also you can do. Or what you can do, you can directly go to your folder, click on file. It will automatically open it. What I'll do, let me try with live server also. Live server, right? So what happens, sometimes you have to install that extension also. So you can go here in extension, and let me see what all extension I have installed here. So I already installed these, yeah, live server. You can see you have to just install this. Just search here live server, live server. Okay? And then once you will search, it will come this one, live server, and click on install. The benefit of this live server is, suppose you are working here, right? I can just open with live server. You can see output here. I will just minimize it to the next to it, and then I'll also minimize my Visual Studio Code. Suppose here like this way. So the benefit here is, I will make any change here. Let's say I'll write here h2, and here I'll say HTML page, and just click save. You can see I am typing here and it is already deploying it here. You can see without saving also it is just displaying here. So if you will not use live server, then what you have to do, change anything, go to folder, double click on it. Change code, go to folder, double click on it. So it will waste your time. Instead of that, you can just install here one more thing, which is called live server. And to install this, you have to go to extension, right? You can see here extensions, click on it and install one extension, which is called live server. Let me uninstall unnecessary one. I don't need these things. Just give me. So once it will install, it will be installed forever, right? In your system. That's why it is showing, because I have installed these things earlier, and that's why it is showing here. Yeah, so now debugger also uninstall, import, and these things is needed. So you can right. So what all things you need to install in extension here is extensions. So first extension that you can install is live server. Second, you need to install is auto rename tag. This will help you to rename automatically, right? So suppose if you need to change anything, it will automatically change the below part, right? That particular thing you can see it is automatically changing here. Else you have to do manually, right? It will automatically change. So auto rename, then auto import will be needed. These three things will be needed. Auto close tag, yeah, this is also you need to install right now. Auto close tag, and then Angular one we can install later. If you want, you can install now also Angular language service, and then auto import. So these 4-5 extensions you can install for a better code development, right? Which will be needed later. Now here what we have done, we have just created one page to test it, right? And to see output, we can just minimize it, and here I can directly see the output. Let me save it. to UI folder, and I'll say here this is HTML. Right. So our output will be available in this page, and then we can write code here. So basic thing that we can see here is just a second. HTML, right? Introduction to HTML. Why we need HTML is whenever you see any page, right? Any web page, you visit any website. Let's say I'll say google.com, right? Any website you visit, the website that is rendered here is using three languages only: HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So if you will go here and click on view source, right click view source. Now whatever thing you can see right now, right? These all codes written in three languages only: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Our browser understands only these three languages, especially HTML. You can see it started tag HTML, and then we have these codes are written. Then we have a script, dev, and all those things there. Pick any website and you will see only these things. So let's say I'll say HTML tutorial, and just open any website. Let's say I'll say here html.com is also one website. Yeah, this website, you can use this website just to get information about HTML. So any website you can click, right click and go to view page source, and then you will see that we started with HTML, and then we have some code inside written, and then these all tables and all stuff is available. So this is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now here our tools and technology comes into picture. If we need to create, we need only these three things to create web page, then why we need to learn Angular or any other thing? Because this Angular is a framework, right? Library where you don't need to write much code. It will automatically do all those kind of things for you. Suppose HTML says HTML is hypertext markup language. HTML is just a hypertext markup language, which is the language for your HTTP. So suppose if you use any website, right? This website is attached with one port protocol. You can see here, HTTP. So HTTP protocol supports one language which is called HTML, right? So we have a protocol, and protocol is called HTTP or maybe HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Full form is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and S means secure, right? So Hypertext Transfer Protocol, what it means? It means that this particular protocol, HTTP, and whenever you use any website, by default HTTP is added there, whether you see it or not, right? So that hypertext protocol supports a language which is called HTML. HTML, and HTML full form is Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext Markup Language. So if we will see HTTP, right, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. That means we need a language to transfer text, and this is also HTML is also a text language. So in HTML, whenever you are going to write any code, you need to use some tags, right? So in HTML, we have tags. You just need to remember tags, and using tags, you can do all the things. So we have many different tags. So this is called one HTML tag. This is one HTML tag. Then we have head tag. Then we have title. We have a lot of things, right? We have body. We have input, right? Now this is tag. Inside tag, you can also write attributes, right? Inside tag, we have attributes. For example, this input tag, right? Inside input tag, we have attribute. Let's say I'll say type equal to text, name equal to, let's say I'll say something ABC. So in this case, if you will see, this type and name is attribute. So I'll say attributes. Attributes here is type and then name. Then we have value, attribute values, right? So I'll say attribute value. Attribute value is, for example, text and then here ABC. What we need to understand here is we have tags which will open this angular bracket and close with dash angular bracket. And whenever we use HTML, we need to always start. This is a start tag, and then you have to also do close tag, and close tag we have to close like this. HTML starts, HTML close. Head start, then you have to close this head tag as well. I'll copy it and then paste it here. Close tag. We have body start, and then we have body close. Right? Similarly, we have input, and so this is called sometimes we have to start tag and close tag, and few tags where we don't need to close it. For example, we have input tag. Input tag we don't need to close. It will be normal input and then it will end directly. Yeah, are you getting it? If you will go here in this HTML.com, right? You will see basic thing about that. What is HTML and how it started, right? These things. You can go over it and yeah. Okay. Just a second. Fine. So what it is saying, HTML is hypertext markup language, and it provides some set of tags which is suitable for writing web pages. HTML is a scripting language for the web page. So these things you can go. A tag will always starts with this opening angular bracket, and it will close with this braces. So these things are already written here. You can just go over it. Now, whenever we start writing HTML, we need to start with HTML tag. Then inside tag we have head and those things. Let's discuss with that. So now, if you will see here, we have created this page, right? So we start with tag HTML. Let me write it again, right? Save it, and then if you will save, it is saying that HTML is not running, so it will not. Okay. So now suppose what I want, I need to write HTML. So I have to always write with HTML tag. So sometimes you can see this doc type, right? Doc type HTML says that you are going to use latest version, HTML5. So most of the page, once you see, right, that is basically HTML5 things, right? Suppose if this is page, right click, go to view page, you will see it will always start with doc type. So somewhere you will see this doc type. This is JavaScript, and Control F. I'll just say doc type. Okay, doc type is not being used here. Let's try. Let's check with Google. Right click, view source. So first line will be doc type HTML. You can see. It means that this page is created using latest HTML version, HTML5. And then we have HTML and other thing we will start. So whether this is not mandatory, if you want to use, it's fine, else this is also fine. So the basic part here is you should start with HTML tag, and then you have to close HTML tag, opening and closing bracket. And this automatically closes because we have installed here this plugin, right? Extension, auto close. You need to open it and it will automatically close it. Inside HTML, we have, so suppose right now, if I'll say save it, right? Not possible without head and body tag. Okay, so we'll add that. So now inside HTML, we need to write head. And then we have one more thing is body. So two major things that is available here. One is head and another one is body. Whenever you write HTML, we have head and then body. Head we use for this one, right? You can see this header. This header. So right now, let's say if I want to add a title for that header. So I'll just say title and then I'll say hi. Save. You can see this title changed here. You write here any other thing, first page. You can see here it is showing first page. So now if you need to change anything here, for example, in this website it is written UI training Angular. That means this UI training Angular is written through HTML titles. If you will go into web page and then search a tag, find tag here title. Okay. This website is little weird. So we have head tag and meta. This. So you can find from here also, but this will be available inside that one. Fine, or they have used maybe JavaScript or any other thing to rename that. So this title, right? If you need to change the title, this one, you need to use a tag called title tag, right? It will change your title. So let's say if you write any other thing, just save it. It will automatically change the title. Right? First page, and it will change the title. Now, head work is to change the title and add a scripting thing. So once we will reach to JavaScript, we will change that. Inside body, we have tags. For example, I'll say head tag, H1. And here I'll write, let's say, welcome. Save it. So you can see one head tag is coming. Similarly, we have H1, H2, H6, right? So if you write H2, save it. Although I have added auto rename, that's why it is auto renaming this thing, right? H2. Similarly, I'll write H3. You can see H4. So as per your requirement, you can use HTML tag. Then we have H5 and then H6. So H6 is the last one, heading 6. I'll try to add H7. You will not get any error, but it will be treated as normal text, right? You can see this one. So basically, we have only heading tags from HTML1 to HTML6, H6. This is called heading tag. Similarly, we have many different tags which is available. For example, we have paragraph tag. So we use P for paragraph. And here you can write anything, right? I'll say you will learn HTML. Save it. This is normal P tag, paragraph tag. Right? Similarly, if you want to use any other thing, right? You want something which will be running, right? So we have markup tag. Marker. Let me check. Okay, can you show me how to use live server? Yeah, this live server is very important. So what you have to do, you have to go to extension, right? You can see here the last option, extension. Click on it and then install these extensions, where first extension is live server. Once you have to just search that live server and it will come like this, right? Just click on install. Right now it is saying uninstall. Maybe let me uninstall it. Yeah. So now once you will search, it will say live server. Just click on install. That's it. It is installed now. After that, just go to your project or file, select this file, right click. First option you will see open with live server. Click on it. And then it will automatically open some port and then it will list it here. So now whatever thing you will change, it will automatically display here. So I'll say here now I'll minimize it and I'll just write here. You can see it is automatically changing here. Although this is only needed for HTML, JavaScript and CSS. This live server we will not use with AngularJS. In Angular we have separate thing, right? So we have, you can see we have different tags available. Similarly we have tag. So tag is very important. You can see if you need to create some link, then you can use a tag, anchor tag. And here I'll say let's say click here to navigate to Google page. Now if I click just save here, you will see that A is created, but it's not clickable because we have not added any other thing. So if I'll say A and then here we have href, just click save. Whenever you will add href attribute, this is attribute. Now it is clickable, but this clickable will not go anywhere since we have not written here anything. So now if I'll say navigate to Google, then I have to write https:/google.com. Save it. Now if I will click, it will go to google.com. But problem that you can see here, it is just overriding the existing URL. Existing URL is this one. This is our project. And then if I click, it is override this. Right? Ideally, what it should do is it should open in new tab. So to open in new tab, what we need to write here, we have one more attribute which is called target. Inside target, you have to write blank. If you will write target equal to blank, save it. Now if you click here, it will open in new tab. Right? That's why it is important for us to learn about HTML tags, right? Else how you will get to know, right, that what all things is available here. So similarly, if you need to just create some this is anchor tag, right, where anchor tag is used to create link button, right? Link, you click here and it will navigate somewhere. This is called anchor tag. Similarly, we have called, let's say, table, right? So we have table tag. So suppose if you need to create table, you can just write here table, and inside table we have pd, tr and those things. So I'll say table tr, and inside tr we can say td or th for heading, th, and I'll say, let's say name. I think I'll just copy it and paste it here. Name, country, and then similar thing you can just add here. zip code. So you can see this, right? But it's not showing as a table. So what you can do, you can write here border equal to, let's say 1. It started showing as table. Similarly, now in first row, we have this thing. Let me just create another row, PR, and inside this now I will not use PH, but what I'll use table data. So I will use PB, and here I'll say name, Chandan Kumar. Then I'll say here TD, country, India, and then I'll use anything here, zip code PD, and I'll say some zip code. So this table is created. Similarly, I'll just copy it and paste it. One more row created, right? One more row created. So this is just, I wanted to show you that how HTML and all these things created, right? Let me say, if I'll say 0.5, say no, we have to write actually in this format. So usually whenever we work with HTML, we don't use this border tag itself here, right? We use some different. But if you just wanted to show border, right, you can use this thing, border equal to 1, right? This is border size basically. And then if you will see here that we want some gap between this link and this one, right? We want some gap. Then what we have to do, we can go here and write here one tag which is called break tag, BR. So once you use this break tag and just close it, right? Let me see if it is going break. Okay, copy. So you can see you can use break tag to gap between one element to another element. As per your requirement, you can add. Now this break tag is, even you will not write, it is self-closed also. Then also it will work. Just write BR, that's okay. But mostly whenever we write break, it's self-closed. So you have to start it and then close it. Start it and close it. That's it. I have used two break statements because I want two line gap. Right. Yeah. So this is HTML tag basically. HTML table tag. Do you have any question as of now? Are you getting it? We'll see in detail all those things, right? But just I'm giving you some overview how exactly we write HTML code. Yep. Similarly, we have inside this HTML, we have what we say input related things, right? So if you need to take input, what happened if we will use only, yeah, that will work. There is no issue in that. You can directly use BR. There is no issue. The only problem here is you use the same BR in AngularJS. Angular. And in Angular also we have to use HTML, right? Then in that case it will give you problem. It will say that this is opened, but we have not closed it. So we have not done like this one here. Opening and closing should be there, and you are not using that thing. So if in that case you will get error. So better what we do, we start it and then we self close it here. Gradually, once we will reach to that particular part, you will automatically get to know about the problem. Yeah. So if you will not write proper things, although HTML will never give you any error. So suppose if I'll here, if you will see, this is our page, and I have done some mistake. Let's say instead of border, I have just write here board. Then what? Okay, it will not give you any error. Although that particular part will not work, you will not get a desired output, but it will not give you error. This is one thing. Let's say instead of PR, I have just written only P, which is okay. I just write here, save it. It will not give you any error. Although right now it is working, but it will not give you any error. Yeah. So this is HTML. Now inside this HTML basic tag, we have input related tags, or we can say we have form related tags. We have image related tags. So for each and everything, right, we have this thing. Before going to explain about input, let me show you about. I'll just go to end, and here I'll say, let's say if you need to display some what we say list, right? How you will do that? So to list, we have I can write here heading, let's say H1, and I'll say list of, let's say I'll say books, just to add here one heading, and inside this I will write, let's say, unordered list. So I'll say UL, and inside this UL I will write LI, list. So now I'll say list of books, let's say I'll say Java, and I'll say, just copy paste again. If you will see here, this list will create, right? So how this bullet point will created is created using UL tag. That here you can write anything, right? Oracle, Angular, right? So anything that you want, you can write here. So these books created here, list of books. This is one tag which is called UL tag. Now suppose if you want to create order list, right, where it will be written as OL, then how we will do that? For that, I'll just copy the same thing and paste here. Now instead of UL, we will write here OL. And then if you will see here, now it will automatically write 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So Java I mean HTML is, you know, basic language, very basic language, but for the web development. But you need to remember which tag I will use to create this particular thing. That is important part. As a front-end developer, you have to know the tag. I need, at least you need to remember, you need to know that, okay, I need bullet points. So you can Google it and get that too, get that things. Right now you can see I'm getting ABC, right? Suppose I need to change this. I need to change the type. Here I think we have one more thing which is called type. So suppose if you want 1, 2, 3, so by default it will be 1. Now suppose if you want ABC, then you can write here capital A and it will convert here ABC. Are there any other list? Yeah, so basically if you will see, we have list, right? So by default we have different types of that list. First you can see without any order, right, you can use UL. For ordered list we have different types. For example, you can say by default it will be 1. If you will not mention anything, it will create 1, 2, 3, and then we have ABC. But if you want here Roman letter, then also you can do that. So you can see here in this A, right, we have a small letter, it will create, and we have I, which is Roman, then we have one is a small Roman, which is I. So now if you will see, we have a small letter ABC, then we have Roman letter, then we have a small Roman letter. So mostly we use these things to create the list, right? and bullet points in HTML, right? So HTML supports only these things. Now suppose instead of this bullet, right, you want something else. In that case, we have to now include some other library, and that library will give you those things. But in Java, in HTML, this is the only 5 things that is available. So this is list that we need to know. Apart from list, we have called one more tag which is called DL. So instead of writing here, okay, since all these things in one page only, right? So that is, okay, let's see here. So we have another tag which is called DL, and you can see DL, description, right? So in this DL, what it is doing is it will create description of that. So suppose sometimes what we need header, and then after one tab gap, we want another thing. In that case, we use this DL tag. Inside DL, we write here, say DT, and I'll say, let's say in DT, we have a list of books. This one heading, and inside this heading I want some description, right? So suppose I'll say DD, and here I want let's say something, right, about this, right? So I'll say list of books. Suppose I have written DL, inside DL DT, and then DD. Now what changes we can see here? It will show like this with the list of books, and then below are the books. So suppose sometimes we need one gap, right? One paragraph gap. So this thing you can complete, you can do through this one. You can add header, and then you can do this thing. Now suppose if you want to make this header bold, so for that you can use a tag which is called B. If you will use B tag, only B tag, just close it, save it. Now you can see this is converted into bold. If you want to apply some font on top of that, you can also do that. You can apply font on top of that. So we have another tag which is called font tag. What it is saying, font tag you need to write let it be here only, we'll see, right? So we have font, and inside font you can choose different okay, why font is not working? Okay, so font tag is also available, no problem, we can see. So basically you want to change the color, right? So font color and other things will be changed here. So let's say I'll just write it. Yeah, it's working, although going in red, right? Because nowadays we are not using this font tag directly, but this is HTML tag, you can still use this. So I just wanted to make it different color. You can use font color equal to red. Then you can also change size and other stuff. So I'll say font. Then we have size equal to, let's say, I'll say 7. Save it. You can see font size changed. So let's start. Let's create here one more file, and I'll say. So I have just created here one more page one, and in this one I will write. Let's say you can add a doc type, which is okay. I'll start with HTML. Inside HTML we should have head, and inside head we will write title. Whenever you start page, you can do this thing, title, title, and it will automatically open and close this. and then I'll say navigate page. So we have head and title, and then we can start body. Inside body, now whatever thing you will write, it will be visible. So what I can say, that this is our home page. Let's say I'll say h1 I, or I'll say like I'll say my single page website. A single page website. Save it, and to run it, what I will do, right click, open with live server. Simple. You can directly go and run also. So now you can see this is saying my single web page, my single page website. And if you want to make it center, then you have one tag called center also. So you can just use center tag and just right after this center. Open and close, save it, and then if you will go, this thing will be visible in center of the page, right? So next thing what I am trying to do here is I'll create few links, right? And so if you remember, we have used anchor tag. So this anchor tag will navigate from your page to outside. So if you will say here, I'll just say Google page, save it. That means what will happen now, if you click here, we have Google page. If I will click, it will open Google page. But what will happen if we have, let's say, content available and I want to navigate directly to that particular page? In that case, what we will do? So for that, I will just create here. So suppose I create inside body itself. Let's say I'll create one page let's say h2 heading 2, and inside heading 2 I'll say this is my about page, right? And then we can paste here some content inside that about page. So about page, and let's use p tag. So for this about page, I need some text content, right? What I can do, I will go here in Google and write here dummy text generator, dummy text generator, and then I'll open any link from here. You can see this dummy data is available. So I'll just copy it and we'll go here and paste it. So this is my dummy data about home page. I will go here in UI and see what is the output. So now you can see it is printing about page and some data is available like this. Yeah. So I have, this is about page. Similarly, although I have another one also, let me go here. So you can see these all text and all things are available. You can just copy these things for your website. So I'll say I want 100 page, include HTML tag, this, include bold, headline, these things I need. I'll just click here and then copy. And now instead of this, I'll just say paste. Save it. So you can see this is about page, and then this text is auto generated here. But I don't need, okay, actually I need only, let's say I'll say h3. I wanted to show you something here which is important. So so we have here p tag p, h3 Okay, so we can see we have h2 about page. So I wanted to keep this one as main, and then we have here h3 or h4. You can use as per your needs. So and then if this one will be, let's say, h4. This one is also h4, and so on. We can do this. Maybe h4 itself. This one. Save it, and then if I will check now, yeah. So we can say this is about page, and then these things available. Similarly, I will do here. Let's say. This is about page. I'll just copy all these content and paste it again. Copy it and I'll say paste. Now this one I wanted to make it as or let's say first one is home page, right? Home page. This one is about page. Save it. I wanted to see in output. So as of now, you will see this is home page. This one is about page, right? So we can, this is single page application, right? So we can we can keep one page text, right? So in one page we will have one text, and then another page we will have another text. Similarly, let's say I'll copy this same content and paste it again, right? So most of the time you will see many websites where we have only one page and all the contents are available in that page only. My question is how it is navigating there, right? Let's say home page, about page. This is, I'll say let's say a story page, and one more I'll add just here. This is contact page, right? Contact page. Contact page. So in this HTML file, I have added these all things, right? If I will see now, you will see here that we have home page, about page, story page, contact page. These all information available. Now I want to create link, right? I want to click here directly about page. It should directly jump to this part. How it will work? So for that, I have to create here anchor tag, and this anchor tag will navigate there. So I will just say here a, and then I'll say href equal to this, and then here I'll say home page, right? Similarly, I'll copy this, paste, right? So I'll say home page, then we have about page, then we have, after about we have a story and contact. So I'll say the story page and then contact page. So as of now, if you will see output, we created here these option, right? Although there is no breaker, so what I can do, after each line I'll do break. So I will use br tag to break. Copy, paste, save. So now if you will see, we have one is Google page. If I will click, it will open outside. Now next is home page, about page, and these things. So as of now, if I will click, it will not work, right? If you can see, it's not working. Ideally, what should happen, if I will click contact page, it should directly open this thing, contact page. But right now it's not working. So question is how it will work there, right? This is pure HTML thing, right? I'm just trying to explain how you can use this anchor tag, navigation tag. One is to navigate outside. Another one is you can navigate inside also, inside the same page also. And how we will do that? For that we have to use tags. And using that tags, you can do these things. Are you getting it? So for each tag, you can see heading, right? You have to provide here one ID. Okay, yeah. So if you have any question, right, at any point of time, just interrupt me and ask. Yeah. So now suppose this is home page. So I'll write here ID equal to, let's say I'll just say home. Just put some ID on that tag. id equal to home, and any name you can put here. I'll say id equal to about or about page, whatever thing you wanted to write, you can write here. This is, I'll say, a story. This one I'll say contact page, right? So id equal to this. Now what we have to do inside href, you can say here home, so you can just write home. About, you can write here about. You have to write here basically with hash home. So whenever you use hash is used for id. So hash about, hash a story, and then you can write hash content. Save it. Let's try. So I'll go here in our home page. Now what I'll do, I will directly click on contact. You can see we jump directly to contact page. Although ideally what we should keep in one page, we should keep only one thing. Suppose if I'll click on a story, it will directly jump to a story page. Although in this case we have one page. Okay, let's zoom it and then we can see. So now if I click on about, it will jump to about page, right? And then we don't have any option to jump directly to home page, right? This is home page. We have this thing. For this one also you can keep one more, right? Main dashboard or something. So it can directly jump here. So what I'm trying to say, for this one, right? Let's say top one. You can keep here one ID. Let's say I'll say ID equal to top, right? ID equal to top, and then what you can do from the bottom, right? You can directly jump to top. Let's say you are here in bottom or in each page. After each page, you can put here one thing, and I'll just say top, and here you can say top page. Now this ID you can put in each page so that you can directly navigate to top directly. Save it. So here I'm right now here. We don't have any top button. Let's say I just click on a story page. I am now a story page. And once I read it, you can see here we have one option, top page. If I will click, it will directly jump to our main page. About page. Now inside about page, you can see in the down, we have here page, top page. If I will click, it will move us to this one. So one thing to notice here is you can see in URL, it is appending this ID, hash ID. If you will directly write here, let's say I'll say a story, it will directly jump to that story page. So this is internal navigation. Internally, you are navigating from one page to another page, right? And then you have one option to directly jump here. Correct? This is very important part to understand, right? Many single page application you will see like this one. So you can just say single page website HTML, right? So open it, any template, right? You will see lot of things. So you can create your own page and deploy it. So I'll say suppose just open anyone. This is just template. You can also download. Go demo. So suppose this is right. In this page, everything should be in one page only. You can see I'm scrolling down and each and everything is mentioned in one page itself, right? This is generated in HTML, CSS, nothing special, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These all look and feel and everything. So if I will directly click on here, right? You can just notice the tab. Okay, so in tab it's not showing because they have hidden something. But if you will see here, right, in this one, in this part, once I'm moving my cursor, you can see here it is showing business hash pricing, then team, contact, services, right? So these all things. How it is working, if I will just click, you can see it is navigating here, right? The same thing we have done. And if you are down, you will see this button. This button is top button. If I will click, it will move us to top. Same thing we have done here also. If I will click here, I am here. Now if I will just click, it will move us to this. We have not used any CSS or anything. That's why it is showing like this way. But this is how it works. Any question, any doubt here? Are you able to get this? Right. Now suppose if you need to just change some color here, right? So you have body and then you can say BG or background color, BG color equal to, and then here you can add colors, right? So although we have plugin also for colors, right? So you can use HTML color. So just search that and some plugin you will see here, HTML color or VS color picker. Just see here what all things it will do. So color equal to and then hash. Okay, so suppose if I'm just installing it, right? Although this is not mandatory, but you can do this thing. So BG color and then I'm saying let's say hash, right? Okay, so in this page it is not coming. Maybe I'll open again page 1 and I'll say BG color equal to, okay, maybe that is only for CSS, right? So we'll see that later. Okay, fine. For now, what I'll do, BG color equal to, let's say I'll say green. Save it. Now what will happen? Our whole page will be in green. Yeah. So you can directly change from here also. So suppose if you don't know the exact color, right click here, go to inspect element, and from this inspect element you will see here this option green, right? And once you see, you can just expand it, and here we have all the elements available. For body, this is inbuilt element. We have written here body color, this RBG, right? So just click on it. Okay, so fine. So you can see here we can directly go and change BG background color, maybe this background color, and from here you can just see, right? So these things also you can, as per your requirement, you can just see the change page size. Whatever thing you want, you can just change directly from here. We have a lot of options available. Right? So for now, let's say I'm just using this one, floral white. So what you can do, just copy this thing. Yeah, select it and copy, go here, and instead of writing BG color, you can just delete it and paste it this background color. But this background color you have to apply using a style that I have not explained. So for now, let's keep it BG color only, right? BG color equal to this one. So if you will run your website, you will see output in this color. Yeah. Now suppose if you want to change, suppose we are in home page and you want to change color for this one different, then what you can do, you have to use so in this home page or about page, right, you have to keep one ID. So since this is this one, right, home page, you have ID equal to home, and if you apply some color, then it will change only for this. So you have option, you can just right click here, go down, you will see inspect element, just click on it, and then accordingly you can change. For example, we have here about, right? So this about id equal to about, and you can apply here some color or something, right? So it's, let's say I'll say background color, right? Background color, and in this background color I want to change something because this is heading, so I can do this thing about. Let's say I just wanted to do this thing, color copy, and we'll do here pg color. So it might not work here directly, but the thing is we have css that we will implement later. So now this is home page, so I'll go on home page and see. Okay, so it's not changing here, right? You can see it's not changing. So the thing is, if you just need to apply the exact color that is available here, right, then what you can do, instead of using this thing, you can write here a style equal to, and then paste whatever thing you copied from there. I mean the complete one. So I'll say background color colon this, and here you will get all the other options also. Save it, and then you will see this option available here. This is home page. Similarly, you can do for all other pages. So once I reach to CSS, I will explain. So right now you can see it's we are doing same thing again and again, right? CSS will help in that case. About page. This one, yeah. So now I close here, yeah, save it, and then if I will go in home page and let's say I'll click on a story page, you will see top one will be in different color. Yeah. So same thing, a similar thing you can do for your website, and accordingly you can add logic. Any question, any doubt, anything that you would like to discuss? Now suppose you are in home page or some other page and you want to include some image, right? So suppose inside home page, or let's say inside about page, you want to add some image. Then how you will do that? So we have about page, so I'll go into about page, and I want to add some image just down to this button. Then we have a tag called image, img tag, right? Here we have to write image src equal to, now you have to provide the source, and then based on that source you can image will come. Suppose by default, if I'll go here and I'll say free image website, we have few images, for example unsplash and pixels, you can use for your website also. So I'll click on unsplash, and from here I'll pick any image, right? Or you can search what kind of picture you want, it will come here, right? Let's say I'll say some street photo. So let's say this image, yeah. So one way is I can directly download it, right? I can go and download as per our requirement, medium, large. I'll just download it. Another way is I can just copy the URL. How to get the URL here? So if you will see, this is the URL. So I'll right click copy image address. Yeah, so you can see this one. So what I can do inside my program, I can directly copy the image address, this one. I hope this will open. Let's go and check. So you can see now this is opening here, right? My page, and then in about page I have this image, yeah? This complete image, and then we have this text. You can see. The thing is, this image is using right now complete picture, right? We don't have any size or anything. So what you can do, one is you can right click, inspect element, and here itself, right, you can see this image. Here itself you can provide here width equal to, let's say, I'll say 300, and then height equal to 300. And so if you will do, okay, this is img tag, right? So why this is not saying invalid property? So let's say 300 pixel and then pixel. All right, so now let's go here. Yeah, you can see once you set px pixel, right, we have different size available. So if you will go cm, these all sizes are available. So usually we use pixels. So if you see this image, and here it is saying different size, right? 90, 20. This is pixel. This is in form of pixel. So you need to provide a pixel for your website, and you can use directly there. So you can see now in home page we have this thing. So what I want, let's say I can directly say height should be less. Yeah. So height, you can directly doing this one also. So I'll just do, it will automatically resize. Just press low arrow and it will automatically resize it. And then I just want to make it height you can increase it. If you want, you can directly write 100%. It will fulfill your page, complete page. Width is 100%, height is 180 pixel. In this case, it will show like this. So I have here, I click home page, and then it will come this. So what I have to, so if you change anything here, right, and refresh it, it will gone. So after changing, you have to add here also. So this is image. You can just put here width equal to, let's say, I'll say 100%, and then height equal to 180 pixel. Save it. And then if you refresh, you will get exactly the same thing. So it's as per your requirement. Yeah, you can just use it and create your website. So now suppose right now I am directly pasting the URL. If you want, you can use local file also. So the only thing is, whatever thing you downloaded, right, this file I have downloaded, you need to put it in your folder, in your project inside HTML. I'll say paste here and the rename it, right? So I'll just rename to I'll say page 1 about, right, page 1 about image. So this is page 1 about. So now I just need to, since this is inside same folder, so what I will do, instead of writing all these things, I'll delete this, and here I'll just say page about dot jpg. Yeah, this is the image. Save it, and then we can check. You can see now it is coming. Right? If you will see the source also, source will be page 1 about. Right? This is the rendered size, pixel size that we have added here. So now whether this website image is available later or not, but your picture will be available since you have saved it in locally, and then you are referring that local file here. So what you need to just do, you need to write img tag and then src page. Any question, any doubt? Are you able to get this? So these things, since if you are first time, right, so major thing that I explained today is only a tag, anchor tag, and then image tag. If you remember, rest other things are just content to fill the page. Right? These all things. Now I'll explain registration form. So I'll just go here and click form. I'll say form.html. Enter. I'm just going to create form. So what I'll do is start with HTML. Then here I'll write head and then title. Although if you will not write this thing, then also your program will work. Right? But this is the thing that we should do. We can say this is registration form. And then in body, I'll say so now since this one is already running, so what I'll do, I will close this. So this port is already working, right? So I will just close it, and then I will run this page. So right click, open with live server. So right now this is only displaying registration form, nothing else. So what I will do, minimize it, and we can write code in this one, and then we'll see directly output here. Okay. So first thing that I will add here is h1 tag, right? So I'll say h1, and here I'll say registration form. So we have now registration form showing here. Just below, what I need to do is we can create simple registration form. Maybe I can search here. I'll say registration form and go to image, and anything we can just copy here. So for example, this one, right? You can see a website containing this information. Maybe this one, right? So in this general admission form, all right, so it is saying general admission form and how you will create this thing, right? That is the main thing that we need to see. Yes. Okay. So open image in new tab. I just need image to display, right? So this image, right, registration form. So in HTML, majorly we need to focus on this registration form only, right? This is main thing that most of the time you have to use this. What I will do, we need to create the same thing here. So initially what we will do, we will just create these things, and later we will format this as per requirement. So first thing here, it is saying name and first name, last name. So what I will do, we will go here in our program, and as per this we will create, right? So we have name. So what I'll write, I'll just write here name. So for name also we use label, right? So we have tag label, and inside label we say name. And then for this label we have, this is input box. Remember, if you need any input, then we can say this is input, and type equal to text. Input type equal to text. And then for this name, we can say name equal to, I'll say first name, right? any name you can put here, first name. And then we have one more thing. Okay, first now let me show you only this thing. So just close it, save it. In registration form, you can say now name and then this registration form created here, right? So this will create only by writing type equal to text. This is also not needed, right? This name is also not needed. Save it for now and refresh it. You can see it's still working. Input type equal to text and then it will work. Now if you see this one, inside this box also something is written, first name. So how it will come? You have to write here placeholder. Placeholder equal to, I'll say first name. Save it. And then if you will go here, now you can see it is visible first name. And inside this you can write anything. This is first name. Similarly, you need one more box to create last name. So I'll say this is last name. Save it. Now you have last name also created here. Let me make it small. Yeah. So first name and then last name created here. If you want to reduce the size, you can do also. So here we can say, I think size, right? Size equal to, let's say, I'll say 10 or 5. Yes. So let's say I'll say 10. Yeah. Size equal to 10. You can customize it as well. Size equal to 10. First thing I have created, name equal to first name. Now next one is email address, right? So similarly we can do this. So I'll just copy it and paste it again here. But the problem is it will go in same line. So what we need to do here, we need to just do break. Break, it will break. If you add one more break, we will have some gap. Now we have gap, and I'll say this is email. And input type, so if you are using HTML5, you can get here input type equal to email as well. You can just remove placeholder from here, and then I'll say whatever thing is written here. So it's saying something at the rate, right? So I'll say this is just a placeholder. So I'll say sample at the rate gmail.com. So it will automatically come. Now the benefit here is if you see this at the rate type equal to email. So in this email, validation will be by default there. So most of the time, whenever we create form, we can directly use input type equal to email. You need to remember the input type. Correct? So right now we have used input type equal to email. So now it created email similar to that one. Then next field is gender, right? So in this gender, what we have to do, I'll just copy the complete and paste it again. And I'll say gender. So for gender, if you will see right now, it will just print the same thing, gender, but we need a radio button. So that is called radio. Input type equal to radio. And we don't need placeholder for this. What we need is after radio, you can just write here mail. One mail will come and then copy it and then paste it again and just say female. So we have now these two, male and female is coming, male and female, right? Problem here is if you choose, right, one, you can select another one also, right? So what we need here is we need name equal to, you can keep the same name in both. I'll say gender and the same name you should put here so that it will create internally a group. And now you have only one option. Either you can choose male or female. You can see. So whenever you are creating radio button, remember this thing. Yeah. You can make it bold also if you want. Just use here B tag. It will make it bold. B. So now you can see first one is bold. Similarly, you can do for this one. Copy, bold. Correct. So name, email, gender. So you get it right. How to create radio button. Yeah. This is how you can create a radio button. Next thing is we have phone number, which is also fine. This is normal text box. So I don't think there is any special thing in this form. So all radio buttons, right? So this is fine. What I need to explain next is how you create checkbox. So suppose if you have, let me copy it, paste it. I'll say choose. Let's say I'll say courses. So in this case, what I want here checkbox. So I'll write input type equal to checkbox, and name is not needed. We'll check. We'll see this later. Here, what I want here, let's say Java in one checkbox. Copy it, paste it. I want another checkbox. I'll say HTML. Sorry, HTML. Let's paste here one more. So I'll say CSS. I'll say JavaScript. These things I have saved. Now if you will see what it created, choose codes, right? So we have this Java, HTML, CSS. So checkbox always we use if you have to select more than one. Yeah, but in radio button you can select only one at a time. So if you need to create like this type of box, how you will create? You have to use checkbox. Input type equal to checkbox. Are you getting it? Dilip, Ashwin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the thing is, you have to practice, right? So without practice, you will not understand these things. Yeah, that is the problem. So right now, whether you are understanding properly is fine, but you will not, once you will not do practice, you will not get it. Yeah? So you have to practice it. Okay, so now we have written here checkbox. What next? We can do HTML form. Yeah, dropped. So suppose if you need to, let me just copy label. So I'll say select country. So now select country where I want one drop down country list, right? So for that we have select tag. So we don't have input, but we have select tag. You can see this select is created here. Inside this select, you need to write option, and then I'll say here India. Save it. Now you can see we have one box created, India, and then copy again, put one more option. I'll say US. So you can see now we have two options available, right? Similarly, you can add more than one. Right? And you can add anything, right? So we have these options will be available here. So if we need to create this drop down, this is called drop down. Remember the name. This is input text. This is radio button. This one is checkbox. This one is drop down or select box. At a time you can select only one, but we can have multiple data here. Yeah, and we can have here one option which is called default option. Okay, let it be. We can see advanced thing later. Yeah, although directly these things we are not using. Whenever we will use what we say AngularJS, we are not directly using it. What we will use is material UI. Yeah, so we have for Angular, we have material UI. We can use either material UI or we can use what we say bootstrap also, which is similar thing. So we can write here bootstrap Angular, right? You can just write bootstrap Angular, and it's also same thing. Bootstrap UI with Angular. Angular GitHub directive. Right? Most of the time, I prefer material UI. So material UI, Angular, right? So if you will see this library, this is for React. So I'll say material UI Angular. This one, right? Open it, and you will see most of the components are there. So get started, and where is components? Components. So if you will see, for example, I need to create checkbox. You can see here, code will be already there. If you need to create this checkbox, click on example, and here options are available. Suppose if you need something like this, just click here, view source, and then you will get all the codes. Just copy it, paste it in your project. Right? So this is how usually we do. Everything will be coded, CSS and everything. We'll see that later. Yeah, but right now we'll focus on HTML part. So we have here select box. Now suppose after adding these all things, you need to create here what we say submit button. So what you can do, you can create here input type equal to submit. So you will see submit button, but before that let me do break statement. Okay. So now we have this submit button available. If you want to change the name, submit, and then you can say value equal to save. Then whatever thing you will write, it will change here. Input type equal to submit and value equal to save. So in one registration form, in one page, we will have only one submit button. If you need one more button, then you have to use button tag. Input type equal to button. And value, let's say you can say clear, right? Just wanted to clear whatever thing you feel, you can use this thing. So we have this button. Let me see if we have more thing available. Input type equal to, okay, so we have color also, date also, date time, right? These all things are available. Suppose if you want date, right, you can use this. So you will get one calendar, something like, I'll say here, let's say there are a lot of things you can explore. I'll say select date of birth, let's say, I'll say, right, date of birth. And after that, I just need to put break. If you will see now in our registration form, we have date of birth, right? We can choose here any date or year, right? Whatever thing we want. All the things is available here. You don't need to do anything. It will already there, right? Just choose these things. Select date of birth. Similarly, if you want, in some cases, we need color and other stuff. So that is also available here. So if you just write input type equal to, so you can see color, right? It will create color picker, right? So you will get color picker. Here you can see you can choose different color, right? And based on this color you wanted to perform something, you can do that. What next? Email file, right? So suppose if you need to upload some document, right? After doing all these things, you want to upload something. So what I can do here, I'll write upload reports or upload documents. Save. So you just need to write input type equal to file, and if you will go here and then just put here break a statement after that, I'll just copy it and paste it here. If you see upload documents now, you will select from here any document that you want. You can just upload from here anything that you want. Suppose this one, just select it, it will be visible here, and then save it. Although this will not work since this is pure HTML, right? We have not used anything. So this is how we can create a registration form. We have one more is password, right? Input type equal to password, where once you will enter, it will write in. So let me show you. Input type equal to password. So what will happen is that you will have one text box, but once you will enter, it will show in this form. But here you can type anything. This is the difference. This is input type equal to password, and this is input type equal to text. So if you need to create login form, at that time we use this password. Yeah, so that's it from the HTML perspective. We can connect on Monday, right? And I will explain how we can apply CSS, right? So we will study about CSS. So in HTML, these things are sufficient, and we'll see then next thing, which is CSS. So the same thing we will use, and here we will apply CSS and will perform other stuff. Although in HTML also we have a lot of more things, right? But these things are sufficient.